News Jersey. Yeah. Hello and welcome to News Jersey Alpha version, the sweetest pod you'll ever meet. It's 7 o'clock p.m., Sunday, the 7th of February, 2021. I'm your host, Raymundo Maximus, coming to you from Riverside Studios in beautiful Riverside, New Jersey, not to be confused with our far less beautiful West Coast counterpart, Riverside, California. We are here to give you all the news stories that caught our curiosity this week. Of course, the podcast is still in its early days, and we're still figuring out a bunch of shit. So thank you. Thank you for being patient with us, supporting us as we develop, and thank you for choosing News Jersey as your plug for this sweet, sweet A1 uncut news. If you want to contact News Jersey, you can via email. Send your thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, fact checks, stock tips, and or anything to NewsJerseyOfficial@gmail.com. That is NewsJerseyOfficial@gmail.com, spelled exactly how it sounds. This week we have some folks. We have a bunch of stories. We have some folks trying to exploit the CARES Act for personal profit. Jersey City appoints a new police chief in the wake of Chief Kelly's retirement following federal lawsuits. A rescued German Sherpard returns the favor and rescues its owner from a near certain death. A huge sex ring gets busted up in Bergan. A new medical weed dispensary planned to open in Edgewater, very close to our home Riverside, and Gov Murphy agrees to loosen penalties for magic mushroom users. Frankly, we have a lot to get to, so let's just hop into it. A medical marijuana dispensary, a Curaleaf medical marijuana dispensary, one of the biggest cannabis companies, has received township approval from Edgewater Park, which is just down the street from Riverside, to open up. It'll be straight up on 130, folks.
Edgewater Park, not to be confused with Edgewater, which is in Bergan County, right next to New York City. It is Edgewater Park somewhere in West Bumblefuck, South Jersey.
Yeah, it's South Jersey. It's south. But yeah, this is gonna be straight on Dumb 30 130.
Dumb 30.
One of my favorite highways. Probably my favorite highway. I drive on it every damn day. But this thing's gonna be 7,600 square feet in a 2,200 square foot building on the southbound side, so that's cool.
Yo.
I'm looking forward to this.
Shit. I pass by this place all the time. It just says jiu-jitsu, and I never see anyone there. I guess now.
Oh shit! Right there by the jiu-jitsu spot.
Yeah,
dude.
It's gonna be in the jiu-jitsu spot. You know what I mean?
Wow, dude, you can't do jiu-jitsu unless you get a little fucking. First, take care of your fucking high.
Yeah, for real. But it's gonna be on 130. It's gonna be lit. For those that don't know, 130, for my North Jersey peeps, 130 is basically like the Route 1 of, or Route 46, or Route 4 of South Jersey.
Yeah, it says here they were first applied to be in Mount Laurel, which is kind of a more high-end area, but they got rejected, so they're going to come down to a humble Edgewater Park, which is like the tiniest town you can imagine. Their municipal building is like the size of my house. After being pulled from a fiery wreckage nearly 2 years ago, a New Jersey man, Joseph DeMeo, age 22 from Clark, New Jersey, has been the first patient in the world to survive a face and bilateral hand transplant. He said he was coming home from a night shift when he fell asleep at the wheel and drove his car off the road where it flipped and caught on fire. After the accident, he had 80% of his body burned, which usually people don't survive, and he sat in an induced coma for 2 months. DeMeo is a great candidate for the surgery because he's young and he wasn't without his parts for too long, so he lost his hands and face about only a year and a half before the procedure, so it's likely that his brain would remember how to use them. Finding a donor for him was extremely difficult, according to his doctor, Eduardo Rodriguez, chair of Hansjorn Wyss Department of Plastic Surgery, who compared it to finding a needle in a haystack. It took them 10 months to find a donor. The operation required 23 hours and an 80-person surgical team. It was performed at NYU Langhorne, an institution that is quite proud of what they've accomplished. Not much is known about the donor, except that he died from a stroke and he was the perfect match. The donor's family was actually giving 3D printed replicas of his hands for the funeral so he wouldn't look too weird in the casket.
Yo, it says twice before surgeons have tried to give a patient a new face and 2 hands. In France, the guy died 2 months after the attempt from infection, but it was related to the burns, not to the surgery. A patient in Boston, the second guy had to have his hand transplants removed because they didn't take. That's
sheesh.
Who knows what that means? His new hands didn't take. So yeah, this is the first guy to get a double hand surgery and face transplant together in the world done in New Jersey. There have been more
people were saying
40 face transplants and 85 single or double arm transplants. So yeah.
Yeah, people were saying that this is actually like they were saying that this is like arguing that it's a waste of money because it costs like a lot of millions of dollars. It costs like over $2 million to do this, and they're saying with the type of prosthetics they have today, they could have just gave them fake hands for like a quarter of the cost, and it probably would have been just as useful. But I don't really buy into that. I think that he's going to need these things. Yeah. He's also going to have to take immune suppressors for the rest of his life to keep his body from attacking the implants. But he's probably fine with that. He's also reported to leave the procedure with no pain, just a minor itch all over, just itchy skin.
Minor itch all over.
Bergan County prosecutors announced Thursday that they busted a large-scale international human trafficking operation. They announced arrests and charges for 22 alleged members who forced women into sex slavery in the county for as many as 6 years. The operation was called Hope in the Darkness, which frankly brings a tear to my eye. In a virtual press conference Thursday, Bergan County, this is from NJ.com, Bergan County prosecutor Mark Musella announced that 22 people were arrested and charged for their alleged involvement in a human trafficking ring that victimized more than 50 people that they could prove. Many of them Mexican immigrants, by forcing them into prostitution. More than 1,500 clients of the forced prostitution were identified, said Robert Anzalati, the officer's chief of detectives. Apparently, over 100 detectives from the prosecutor's offices executed 19 search warrants and caught 21 of these fuckers. They also seized $250,000 in criminal assets, which is not enough. The ring's operations spanned Bergan, Hudson, Middlesex, and Passaic counties, even crossing the Hudson River, operating in the Rockland County and Queens County of New York. Of the 22 with warrants, one of the ringleaders, Nancy Rincon, was not caught. She's assumed to be on the run in Colombia. She's 61.
Yo, tell me how she has the same same last name as my mom, and she's almost the same age, and she's Colombian.
Have you talked to your mom?
And my mom works in Teaneck.
Huh.
But I haven't seen her in a couple weeks. I don't know.
I hope you're not incriminating anybody. Tell your people down in Colombia to get her ass. They're hoping to catch her and extradite her to face charges, but I mean, I don't know how that works in Colombia. The organization was international and victimized women from ages 18 to mid-30s in local condos and apartments across New York and New Jersey. Women were forced to service as many as 40 clients a day, working 12 hours at a time. That's just fucked. 12 hours is too long. Yeah, the organization would target mostly Mexican women, as I said, offering them a chance to get into America, but only to be forced into prostitution. The ring used a criminal hierarchy to employ everyone from drivers who would deliver women to enforcers who would impose complacency on the young women and serve as bodyguards against rough clients.
Yeah.
Yes, that's huge. New Jersey native and professional skateboarder Ishod Wair has started his own new website and is signing decks to sell on it. You can visit it at ishodwair.com. On his website, you can watch some of his video parts and buy the signed decks, which were sold out very quickly, but I'm sure he'll have some more. And it's all for a good cause because the proceeds from the signed decks went to the Ben Reimers Foundation, which was founded after the 28-year-old committed suicide in 2019. Ishod Wair, of course, is like kind of the pride of New Jersey when it comes to skateboarding. He used to skate with Fat House and all that, and now he competes in like Street League, and he's got all these video parts, and he's just also a fucking beast. You might see him skating around. You never heard of him? Yeah, dude, he's a fucking beast.
Yo, I can see that.
3 New Jersey kids have been caught trying to take advantage of the CARES Act. That is the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, of course. Adam Rodriguez, age 22, Madison Siddell, age 19, and Jaden Bauer, age 19, are their names and ages. Rodriguez and Siedel the first two, set up 3 fake companies in order to clean the $10,000 of stimulus money that was promised to New Jersey businesses during the pandemic.
Idea.
Yeah, so did they. And they're all younger than us, by the way. And then, Jaden Brower, her part of the operation was to launder the money through various online cash applications. All 3 were arrested Tuesday. Rodriguez was charged with forgery, money laundering, 3 counts of falsifying records, theft by deception, 2 counts of criminal attempt to commit theft by deception, and conspiracy to commit theft by deception. I'm sure they're throwing the fucking book at these kids.
Who knew that you commit theft by deception? That's crazy.
Theft by deception. Damn. I thought that was just,
No, I know people who actually had like a legitimate LLC and they, got the loan. I guess these people pretended to have a company.
Yeah, it says they forged checks with like business names on them, and then like they got the money, but then like they got caught as well. So he forged a Clean Eats LLC. I think the other one was like an agriculture business or something. Yeah, it was they got the warrant after a tip line, so somebody snitched on them. But yeah, fuck them, they're kind of their fault, Yeah, so Gov Murphy coming out, signing some bills, A5084 and S3256.
What are those numbers?
I don't know. Those are the numbers of the bills, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, he's like loosening up the, what is it called? The penalties for having psilocybins or psilocybins or some kind of funky magic mushrooms.
Psilocybin, like acid and shrooms type shit.
I don't know. It doesn't say if acid is included under this, but it's definitely mushrooms.
That's the psychoactive ingredient. Know what I'm saying?
Word. So yeah, let's assume it was. It's hard to find acid on you anyway. But so now it's kind of
a 3rd-degree crime and carried a penalty of between 3 to 5 years behind bars and up to 15 grand in fine. Now it's up to 6 months in jail or $1,000 fine or both. That's a crazy drop. Still not.
I'll take the fine.
But, that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, for real.
Yo, I know a kid who had like acid's supposed to be like a little piece of paper, but he had gummies, so it weighed a lot more. He had like a sheet, which is 100 doses, probably weighs like a gram, right? But he had 100 gummy bears, which weighed like a couple ounces, and he got like a decade in jail for that shit, dude. Just because
that'll fuck up your life.
Yeah.
That's what Senator Nicholas Scutari, Democrat, said. He said a first offense for this is going to ruin your life, and he's pretty much right. He was the one who proposed the amendment. He's the one who he proposed the amendment to lower the charges.
He says, obviously, the governor recognizes our continued failed war on drugs. This was an old relic of the war on drugs, a felony conviction for a simple possession of a mushroom. That's facts, bro.
Yeah, it's fucking madness. This is coming after that. They're saying that the vote for marijuana helped this decision, too. Like, we really killed it on that 2-1 vote. Jersey City Police Director Tawana Moody is taking over all police department operations in the wake of Chief Michael Kelly's recent retirement, bringing the city's police force under the leadership and oversight of a civilian, which is pretty new. Fulop, the mayor, said appointing a civilian to this position will improve police accountability, transparency, and community relations. The move also brought in civilian access to the internal affairs investigations, including resident complaints of potential police wrongdoing, he said. Moody, she's age 49. She became police director in 2018, was born and raised in Jersey City. She has worked in the department for over 16 years, starting as a clerk and working her way up through management positions. She is... I need to zoom in.
She is the city's first civilian police director with no experience as a sworn officer.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool. I guess that's what you get when you run over your partner with a fucking car.
Yes, this is all... Yeah, this is all in the wake of a federal lawsuit placed on Jersey City itself, the Jersey City Police Department that we covered last week, which alleges that an officer injured a handcuffed suspect by reversing into him with his police vehicle.
Oh my God.
That could have a lot to do with the police chief stepping down.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah. People are quite happy to see a black woman from the Jersey City community taking on the police chief role because it seems like she's going to increase accountability, and that's what everybody wants nowadays.
Yeah.
Quoted, this is quote, "Public perspective is just as valuable as police perspective, and I believe this latest step we're taking will strengthen police/community relationships," said the mayor. "We've been working on major structural changes over the years." Yeah, right, probably just this year. "And establishing civilian oversight creates more lines of accountability and solvency, which will ultimately lead to better results for residents and officers with decreased crime, better accountability, and more transparency." Good for them.
Hopefully.
Good for them. Yeah. We got a German Shepherd, a rescue German Shepherd, who returns the favor by just like saving his owner's life, basically, is what they say. He's Sadie is a girl, 6-year-old German Shepherd DOGE. Yeah, she stayed by her owner's side while he collapsed after having a stroke.
Damn.
She wouldn't leave him alone. She was licking his face the whole time, trying to keep him awake and stuff. And then she even dragged him across the room to his cell phone so he could call for help.
That's fucking wild.
And she's such a good dog. She didn't even grab the cell phone. She just like pulled him,
Word.
Like a bad dog would have grabbed the cell phone, and fucked it up and stuff.
Yeah.
But she's staying with a family friend. Or no, with his family while Brian, the guy's name is Brian, recovers. They FaceTime every night and are counting down the days until they can be reunited again.
Oh,
Very sweet. Very sweet.
Feel good story.
He only adopted her a few months before this happened too.
Dang.
So that's pretty crazy. Yeah, that was a quick payout, That was a quick come up.
Yeah, for real. Just like the coin. Dogecoin.
Yeah,
Quick come up.
Dogecoin, straight up. Only
Just
bought it a
adopt-
few months ago.
Exactly.
10x. Saved my life.
Dogecoin!
Well, that concludes this week's episode of News Jersey. Hope you enjoyed hearing it as much as we enjoyed making it. Try to be safe out there, folks. I know the COVID numbers are down steadily, but that can always change. News Jersey is produced by Kid Cosmic, the Kev, and myself. If you want to contact us, send an email to NewsJerseyOfficial@gmail.com. If you're listening to this in the morning, have a great day. If it's at night, sleep tight. I'm going to leave y'all on Seasons by Smokey with 2 Ys. That is Smokey with 2 Ys. He's an up-and-coming New Jersey artist hailing from Pennsauken.
The seasons always change faster than I settle in one place. Quicksand like my ways, but I can't change, I won't change. Looking my way, looking your way, we look away. Joy in my face, joy in your face, feelings don't stay. Do what I do what you do, pick us some shoes. It's nothing to lose, we've got nothing to lose. Lost in the moment, it's too hard to focus. Today or tomorrow, which one do you follow? Seasons change, seasons change. Ooh, whoa, 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 whoa. The seasons always change faster than